All right, you guys, welcome to our second team call. Brooke and I getting you guys together from the UK. I don't know if we have anyone brand new that wasn't at the launch. Do we have anyone, Brooke?
No, not on.
Okay. So a lot of you guys know each other, and we have also a few US coaches that are really excited to hear Blair's talk on mindset joining us for this particular call this month. But Brooke and I have been working hard to get you guys some good guest speakers. So we have Blair today. We have Mark Briggs that's going to talk to you next month. He's a founding US coach. So he started this journey 10 years ago, and he's going to share with you guys his story and how he's made it work. He is in the Millionaires Club and is really good friends with Tony Horton, has been in several of the programs. So once you see his face on our call next month, you'll recognize him as you start to do programs like T90X and 22 Unit Hardcore. And so Brooke and I are looking forward to continuing to do these calls for you guys month after month with our UK team and bringing you guys together for some excellent training. The only announcement we have for you guys right now is our 500 PT training starts tomorrow, and that is going to be ran by our superstar and our diamond uplines. So make sure that if you are not already a part of that you talk to Brooke or I, and we can get you into that training because it is going to be really good. Success Club is great, and we love Success Club and it is important, but so is PV and keeping track of your volume for growth of your business and building stability in your business and a strong emerald and a strong diamond business. So we want to make sure you're in there. It's going to be 20 days. The first 20 days are going to be, or the first 10 are going to be based on volume and volume training, and the second 10 days are going to be program and product specific training. So we're going to dive further into the products and make sure you really know and understand everything that Beachbody has to offer so you can meet people where they're at in their journey. And with all that being said, that's all the announcements we have. I'll introduce you guys to Blair. She is from the Seattle area. I had the privilege of meeting her real quickly last month when we flew her in. I'm on the Austin Market Council here. And we flew her in as our guest speaker. And she did a phenomenal job. And I took a ton of notes. And I was just like, I need to see if she will speak on our call. And I was a little nervous to ask her just because I was like, she just rocked it. And I always, get nervous asking other people to take time out of their day and come talk to our team and all these things. But she was so willing and happy to do this call for you guys. Like I said, she's from Seattle. She is a 5-star diamond. She is 1 star in her second CVC. She's a 2015 elite coach. She has 52 months in Success Club 10. Maybe that's higher now because that was a stat from before, but 52 months in Success Club 10, which is huge, you guys. That is incredible. And she's a 6-figure earner. So she has been just crushing her business for the last couple years. And a big part of that is her mindset that she had to shift and make this change in how she was viewing not just her business, but her life. I don't know, I guess she'll probably go into a little bit of her story and background and why she made that switch. And now she really, does a lot of that as her personal development, is learning about mindset and things like that. So she can nerd out on us with all of her mindset stuff because it's absolutely incredible. And if any of you guys like that kind of stuff too, then maybe she can give us some recommendations of personal development and other ways we can further making that mindset switch. So I will turn it over to you, Blair.
You're so sweet. Thank you. They're so funny because you're like, I was nervous to ask her. It's like, it was so weird because I'm all like, don't be nervous. But I really I love being asked to speak on this topic because for me, it really was the thing that ultimately changed the course of my business and the course of my entire life. And it's the one thing that I've studied the most and the thing that I try to drill into other coaches, especially when they come and they ask me, like, what was it that helped you build your business? They're always looking for like business strategy things. And I'm not to knock business strategy. I think there's a lot of strategy out there, building your brand, understanding social media, understanding who you're talking to, who your niche is, and learning how to share your story. But what all really boils down to is the mindset. and your success mindset and what you believe in yourself and what you believe in your own abilities every single day, because that's really how you're going to show up and how you're going to apply any of your business strategies. Anything that you learn, it's always you're going to show up bigger and better, and you're going to go bigger if you believe in yourself more. So I'm going to break things down. I'm going to share the slides that I had for the Super Saturday. So it might be a little redundant for you, but I'm going to try to expand a little bit more. And I definitely want to be able to open up for questions at the end and have you guys, if there's anything that you're specifically feeling like you're blocked in or stuck in, I absolutely geek out and love that, is helping fellow entrepreneurs figure out where is the block, where is the thing that's stopping me from believing enough in myself to go take action every day. Because we all have, right? Like sometimes that little like negative voice on our shoulder that's kind of creeping in our ear every day that's like saying to us like what we think we can and cannot do, right? So I want to better help give you guys some tools on how to freaking shift that for yourselves, but also be able to open up for questions and give you guys some more help specifically, since I'll be doing the training for you guys live. I'm going to go ahead and start to share my screen a little bit. So let me see if I can figure out how do I put it into freaking movie mode. Is that going to do it? Oh, there we go. Yay. My forte is not being super organized or really techie. So, so if you ever think that that's the limiting belief, that you think like you have to be like super techie or organized to be successful, that is not true. You do not. Okay. So we're going to be talking obviously and breaking down the success mindset, why it's so important and how you can start cultivating one for yourself. Okay. I'm going to run down a couple little things here first. First off, I literally cannot teach you everything there is to know about mindset today. There is so much to learn when it comes to understanding how your brain even works. Like this is a lot of like, I've learned a lot over the course of the 5.5 years that I've been a coach. I go all the way to the very like woo-woo-y end where my husband literally calls me a freaking gypsy. He's like, I don't know what's going on in here. You look like a witch. To the very scientific end of how things work when it comes down to our brains and how we're processing information every single day and how our bodies are inputting all that information in our emotions and our nervous system, right? And so that's a lot of stuff that I would need to go over. So I can't literally teach you everything there is to know, but to be in all fairness, personal development and learning about mindset is very personal, hence why it's called personal development. You need to be able to go out and do the work yourself so you can determine where are you needing more, where you need to do the work, where are your blocks, where are you needing to understand more within your own mindset. So mindset work is very, very personal to you, and you're going to benefit from it greatly if you take ownership of it and know that this is the work that you're gonna have to do, and you're gonna have to pour a lot of work into here. I'm never gonna make it sound like it's super freaking easy all the time to dig into our mindset. It's gonna start to kind of feel a little uncomfortable when you first start to do it, because you have to kind of sometimes face the things about yourself that maybe make you feel a little uncomfortable. Okay. But coaches who do work on their mindset and start to raise the belief around their own abilities, they're the ones that you're going to see that are going to be more successful. They're the ones that are taking more inspired action daily. What I see a lot of times is that coaches are taking action every single day. They're getting their to-do list from their upline. They're kind of checking off the list every single day, but they're not really taking inspired action, meaning the action isn't coming from a place of true belief in their own abilities, or even maybe in belief in like what they have to offer, right? They're feeling somewhere, a block somewhere around where they feel like maybe it's a money block, maybe it's they just don't, are they really that, have they really reached their fitness goal yet? Stuff like that, right? And we're going to break those kind of down. But the coaches that really work on this and they work from inspired action daily, those are the ones that are going to be seeing more success and be growing their businesses faster. Last thing here is watching hours of training isn't going to build your business. You implementing what you learn builds your business. I feel like this is an area that a lot of times coaches get stuck in. Like I said, they want to learn strategy, and strategy is, it's not bad to want to learn the strategy, but if you get stuck in learning mode and never go to applying mode, it's like going to college for a degree on something and then leaving and never applying anything that you've spent all this money and time and effort and learning, and then you never go and apply the things that you've learned. So this business very much is a learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply. It's never about fully mastering something and feeling like you have everything and you know everything and you are the best at it and then go apply. It's always go at it, learn as you go kind of thing. And that's the kind of mindset you even have to develop in this. It's just kind of always learning and going and learning along the way. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about me and my story and my mindset journey. I think a lot of times you hear coaches, they share their story of their fitness journey, which my fitness journey is a piece of me, but my story really comes down to my mindset. And so I kind of want to take you along like what that really looked like for me and how I got to where I am today. So when you think about my fitness journey and my mindset journey, it started long before I became a coach. It was right after I had my daughter. So I have 2 kids. My daughter is going to be turning 16 next month. If you can believe that. I'm totally floored by that one. And then my son is 6.5. So there's a big little age spread there. But when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was like 20 years old. I was like 20. When I turned 21, I was like 9 months pregnant with my daughter. I wasn't like super young, but I wasn't, older. And I had gained like a lot of weight with her. I gained like well over 85 pounds. At my heaviest, I was 230 pounds. It was the heaviest I'd ever been in my whole life. And I got really depressed. I started really kind of slipping into this place of, a lot of self-hate. I was in a really unhealthy marriage at the time with my ex-husband. I lost literally all my friends because I'm 21 years old with a baby and all my other friends are out partying and doing their thing. And I just felt so lost in myself. And I was literally like a hermit. And it was probably about a year and a half after I delivered her where I really started to take on my own self-care. And that's when I really started to work out and start to kind of get healthier. And I started learning how to eat better and really started to take care of me. And that's really what kind of started getting me to understand like self-love and self-care and how that really starts to kind of change your mindset. But I didn't really fully understand that was what was going on until I had gotten pregnant with my son. When I got pregnant with him, I was fully certain that I was going to, bounce right back, that I had this whole fitness thing down. But after I delivered him, I was extremely exhausted because I was breastfeeding like crazy, like every 20 to 90 minutes, the entire first year of that kid's life. Like he did not want to sleep and he just wanted to be stuck on my boob 24/7. So by the time he was about 9 months old, I was slipping into a very, very dangerous postpartum depression. I was really considering suicide in those moments, in my darkest moments. It was definitely really hard for me to talk about. Most people, if you ask my family or friends at that time, had no idea that I was that depressed. I was very much trying to put up a front in front of everybody. The only person who really knew how unbelievably unhealthy and sick that I was my husband, because I was crying all day long, calling him on the verge of like a nervous breakdown, thinking like I just couldn't go on anymore. And it was in this moment where I now kind of affectionately call my breakdown that became my breakthrough, was because I was literally curled up in a ball in my closet, bawling my eyes out, just thinking I don't deserve to be here. My kids don't deserve me. I'm a horrible wife. I'm a horrible mother. I'm a horrible person. I hate myself. I hated my body. And at the same exact time, we were suffering horribly financially. We were on state assistance. So we had like food stamps and help from the government. I don't know how that looks for like the UK, because I know I'm talking to some UK coaches, but basically we were on like government funding, a lot of government funding, because we didn't have enough money to support our family. I was borrowing on top of that over $600 a month from my parents every single month, because we couldn't even get the basic necessities, diapers, we couldn't get food, we barely could put gas in our car. We were a mess. I was a hot mess to like the nth degree. And I remember in that moment, just all of a sudden there was like this shift that kind of happened where I just had a moment of like clarity, and I asked myself the better question of, but what if I could make this change? What if I could do something? What if, this isn't who I'm supposed to be, right? Like I just literally had the moment of asking myself the better question. And I started looking at it, and I love this phrase, like life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And I started to look at what am I meant to maybe learn here? How can I grow here? What can I do? What can I change? Far too often people are always looking for other people to save them and help them. And I really finally came to that moment in my life where I realized, like, if I wanted things to change, I needed to change me. So in that moment, I remembered, that fitness was something that kind of helped pull me out of my depression the last time. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start trying to work out. I'm going to try to start taking better care of myself. And in that moment is when Beachbody came into my life. And it literally felt like, the clouds have parted and the angels are like, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. Because like I can work on my fitness, which I knew I needed to do. I could start making an income from home because we desperately were needing something because we were so freaking broke. And I was like, this is going to be amazing. And so I jumped into Beachbody thinking this is going to change our whole lives. This is going to be the answer, right? But I'll be honest, in the very first 7 months of my business, I royally fucking sucked. I hope you don't mind that I drop F-bombs because I kind of do that sometimes. But I really did. And so I couldn't hit Success Club. I couldn't rank advance. I couldn't do anything. And I'm thinking, why the hell do I suck so much, right? Like everyone else, like all these other coaches that maybe signed on after me or before me, or I literally started beating myself up over like what everyone else was doing. And I'd get on the national wake-up call. And it's all these freaking people being hella successful at life. And I was like, I suck as a coach, right? And at the same time, my husband's like, why the hell are you doing this? Like, nothing is coming of it, and we're just getting further and further and further in this deep hole. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And it wasn't until it was like the January after I'd signed up. So it was like 7 months after I signed up, and I was sitting at a January Super Saturday, and I'm sitting in my seat, and they're talking about this freaking Success Club trip at the time. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I'm never going to fucking go on that thing. Like I can't hit Success Club to save my life. Like why in the world would I earn this, right? But once again, it was in that moment that I looked around and I started asking myself the better question. I saw all these other people that they were making it happen. They were no different than me. And I was like, wait a second, if they're making it happen, then why not me? Why can't I make this change? If they can do it, why can't I? And I realized, and this is going to maybe sting a little bit, okay? And some of you guys are going to have to do this for yourselves. You're going to have to recognize that the problem isn't maybe the business. It's not how much weight you've lost. It's not how well you think you're telling your story on social media. The problem, unfortunately, sorry to say, this is where it's going to stay, is you. Okay? And that's a hard pill to sometimes swallow in that moment, right? Because you're like, I don't want to say it's me, but I had to admit, I was the thing that was holding me back. It was me. It was me in the moment where I'm curled up in a ball in my closet, bawling my eyes out. It was me in that moment. I needed to change. And it was in that moment, 7 months into my business, that I realized it was me that needed to change. It was my mindset. I wasn't fully committed to personal development. I said I was doing it, but I really wasn't. And I was beating myself up every single day. And I was doing a lot of the things that most coaches do. And I'm going to break those down, like the most common traps of things that people are doing when they're struggling in their mindset. But I just want you to just take for a second and maybe just take a little bit of ownership right now of where your mindset is, and understand that you are either holding yourself back in this moment, and you just need to accept that. I don't mean to beat you down. Don't beat yourself down. You're not going to get anywhere if you do that. But just know that you have the power inside of you right this second to make a change. You hold all the power inside of you to make any change you want to see. So right? Serious gut check time. Obviously, I kind of gave you a little check, like really be real with yourself. Like, are you doing the personal development? Are you really freaking doing it? And when I say doing it, I don't mean like you're taking your book and you're reading it for like 10 minutes or listening to your audio and going, oh, well, that's nice, right? That's real nice, what they just said. I mean like applying the work, like really taking personal development and taking action in it. Because you have to take action in your personal development. You have to apply the things that you're learning. You have to dig in to yourself. You can't just listen to things and think, oh, that sounds really nice, or read something and says, oh, well, I mean, I could maybe work on that area of myself. Or finding the personal development that speaks to you. Just because everyone on your team is raving about, oh, I don't know, like you are a badass. That one's sitting right on my desk right now, so I'm looking at it. Like everybody on your team, right, is telling you, go read, you are a badass. But you start reading it and you're like, I'm just not digging this. This is not speaking to me. Then find personal development that speaks to you. You have to find the thing that is going to be getting you digging in and you're getting the good vibes from it. And if you're not, then scratch it and find something else. At least say, give yourself like a good, at least like a first chapter to get in. Like, don't just like knock it after a couple sentences and be like, nah, this sucks, okay? But you need to look at how much time you're investing in yourself. I put way more energy into my personal development growth than anything else in the business. Anything else. I'm actually at a point now where I'm like, I need a good solid chunk of time of getting myself like in the mood, right? It's like in the mood before I like sit down and go work my business. And you need to find what that is for you, but you need to start investing in yourself more than anything else. And you need to really decide, like, are you believing in yourself, or are you just too busy making excuses and blaming other people? You got to become a little bit more aware of the inner dialogue that's going on in your head before you sit down and you start to do things, or while you're taking action in your business, right? Like, is an excuse coming up that's stopping you? Are you starting to blame other people? Are you starting to compare to yourself? Just be aware of what's going on in your head every single day when you go to work the business. And truly understand that limiting beliefs are never true. They are lies that you're telling yourself that are keeping you stuck in your comfort zone. Whatever excuse you have that you don't think you're good enough or this, that, and the other, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit lies. You can literally write it all out. And I even let's really like dig into your fear-based lies here. Okay, so I've pulled some of the examples that I hear the most out of people, right? Like, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough time. I'm too shy. I'm scared of what people will think. I've tried before and failed, or I always fail. I'm not at my goal weight yet. Like, I really encourage you, like, if you're taking notes, which I hope you are, like, you pull out and you write down like what's coming up for you. It may not be this list, or you might resonate with this, right? But think of the things that come up for you, or make a conscious effort this next week to check in when you sit down to do your work or through the day. I mean, heck, I've even, I did this, blah, 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 I can talk today. I did this for like a week where I set alarms on my phone. I had to go off like 3 times a day. And it literally was just like a gentle awareness time. It was just for me to check in and think about, okay, what am I saying to myself every single day? What are the thoughts that are popping into my head? And it was really eye-opening to see some of the negative bullshit that comes running through our head every single day, right? So write that down. Figure out, what are the excuses? What are the fears? I find like the number one thing, it all comes down to like, I'm not worthy enough. I hear that all the time. Like, if you break down any of these things, that literally you start breaking it down, it's all like, you just don't think you're worthy enough. Like, somewhere along the line, you just felt like, who are you to like do this, that, and the other? That's where all the comparing comes into. It's a level of just feeling unworthy. So you got to figure out, where is that stemming from? Getting out a journal and writing it out and being like, okay, I feel like I always fail, or I've been failing up until this point, or I'm just not good at things. Okay, well, why do you feel that way? Where is that coming from? Where are maybe other situations in your life that you feel like you felt like that before? And then look at it and be like, is that ultimately true? Is it ultimately true that I'm always a failure? have you ever been other periods in your life where you haven't failed at something? I'm sure you can find other areas in your life that you freaking don't freaking suck. Okay. And it's literally just going through and looking at it piece by piece and being like, no, this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. It's all lies that we're saying to ourselves. Because in reality, it's like, if you were to sit there and have like your inner dialogue come out of you, like if you were to sit and like say to somebody all the negative things you say to yourself in a day, people would be like, whoa, why are you being so freaking rude to that person? That's nasty, right? Like that's emotionally abusive. But yet we say these things to ourselves privately on a daily basis. If it's not okay for you to come out and say it to your loved one, your spouse, your children, right? Why is it okay for you to say it to you? It's all bullshit. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about rebuilding and reframing your mindset. And I have some steps of what we're going to do before you do that. Obviously, first thing, PD game strong. Okay, like you have to be really consistently reading and listening. I honestly feel like even if you're like, well, you know what, I'm good at, I like reading and I'm cool with reading, I'm really going to encourage you to even look into listening to things. Even if you don't think that you're really fully absorbing it, having it on throughout the day, like when you're in the car or you're cooking dinner or you're like running errands, or when you get up in the morning, maybe you're getting ready to go to work or taking a shower, whatever, just have it on. Because subconsciously, you'll be amazed. Like your subconscious brain picks up on things even when you're not aware of what's going on. So it hears it. And the whole thing about reprogramming and reframing your mindset is all about repetition. It's all about what does your brain hear more often than not. So if your brain is used to you just beating it down and talking crap to yourself all day long and talking about the laundry list of all the things that you don't do right, you need to have something playing, helping you kind of get into that mindset and that mind frame and those good vibes and be talking more positively to yourself. So I have audibles and I get, I download books, podcasts that I listen to a shit ton of podcasts. I do YouTube. There's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube you can do. I suggest doing more than recommended. I think like Beachbody, I think it's great that they're offering up, like say like 10 pages, 10 minutes. I think that's nice and all, but to be real, I think that most people need more than that. And I think when you're coaching and you're really trying to grow the business and you're really trying to step into a mentor and a leadership role to really help other people, you've got to be doing more work on you. You just have to. And so I always recommend doing more. I feel like 10 minutes, 10 pages is kind of like the minimum. Like if you're really crazy busy and life is getting hectic and your kids are sick and it's like a total shit show in your house, yeah, 10 minutes. Like, don't try to stress yourself. But if you have time in the rest of your day where you have a long commute or like you're stay-at-home mom and you're just kind of going about your day, putting in your earbud and just listening to things, right? I also recommend live events. And I don't just mean like Beachbody live events. I think that those are definitely crucial for building your business and you definitely need to be there. But I look at live events that are really centered around growing me personally in all sorts of different ways. I've invested in tons of different events through many different life coaches and business strategist coaches and mindset coaches and spiritual leaders. And that's where I know like I can really fill my cup. And once again, it's just getting you in that environment around other people that are on the same path as you, right? Like that's the whole reason why we vibe so well, even with our Beachbody community, is because we're all on the same journey together, and the team flourishes that way because we're all on our health journey. We're all trying to help other people. We're all trying to like grow ourselves, right? So putting yourselves in more environments in that way and connecting yourself in is only going to freaking help you. And so I know at first, like investing in yourself, for some coaches, they're like, oh my God, I don't want to invest money in me. But I'm telling you, this is the one area that it pays back tenfold. The more you invest in yourself is only going to pour back into your business and in all areas of your life. It's not just helped my business, but it's helped me be a better mother. It's helped me in my relationship with my husband and everyone in my life. So second thing when it comes to reframing is affirmations. building positive affirmations for you. So this is the step that I do is you sit down, get out a journal. I really highly recommend journaling. Like I stress journaling to people all the time. It was one thing that I really didn't want to do for the longest time, but it's so freaking beneficial. You sit down with your journal and brain dump out all these negative beliefs, or like monitor your thoughts for like the next week, right? Like set your alarms, have your little alarms going off, and really checking in on like what's popping up for you, right? And kind of look at your list and go, oh man, like look at all these negative thought patterns that I'm having. Because any thought that's popping up in your head, and if it's popping up more than once, that's a belief that your brain believes of itself. That's what it's telling itself, right? Its inner dialogue is telling you this, or this, right? So dumping it out and then turning it around and rewriting them into powerful I am statements, right? And flipping the script on it. And then taking those suckers and placing them everywhere around you so that you can visually see it and it's in your environment. And I encourage you, like when you see it, to stop and say it out loud. I put them on Post-it notes and literally had them all over my house. It was so nuts. My husband at one point was like, what the hell is going on with all these Post-it notes? Why do you need them everywhere, right? Because I literally had them everywhere. And I still do have a whiteboard in my bathroom that sits in front of my toilet with a crap ton of shit on front of it. Because you know what? I'm in there, I'm going to the bathroom. Might as well turn that into like me talking love to myself, right? Like I don't waste time when I'm working on mindset, but it's these little things that people are like, hey, this sounds crazy. This sounds a little weird, but how desperate are you for change, right? If you're struggling and you're miserable and this, that, and the other, I promise you doing something what sounds silly like this is worth trying. So Post-it notes everywhere. And when you see them, saying them out loud, and don't just say them, like really freaking say them. Like I get up, I jump around. I am literally like having a freaking dance party. Like I'm fucking amazing. I'm the elite coach. I freaking recruit badass coaches. What? Like I'm jumping all around. You got to get your body moving and have like physical connection to the thought that you're having. It's going to solidify it that much harder in your neural pathways in your brain. Okay. Like that goes like real scientific. Like we have neural pathways in our brain, and a lot of you guys, they are been preset for a while. So in order to get the new neural pathway, to get like the new belief system like stuck in your head, you need to create new motion around it and get your body moving with it, because your body needs to feel it. That's where the emotions lie, are in your body. So you got to get up, dance around, scream your freaking affirmations, do whatever you need to do, freaking have a heyday with it. Setting reminders and triggers. Okay, this one I freaking love. I have them going off on my phone all the time. I have alarms, like I said, like just gentle awareness alarms, right? To click in and just kind of be like, okay, what am I saying to myself right now? Or gentle awareness of my body. What am I feeling right now? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel upset? Do I feel like moody? Like, what am I feeling right now, right? And just getting more into the habit of being more self-aware of your mind and your body and what's going on. Doing location tags is like my new jam. I love this shit. You set on your phone. I know I can do it on my iPhone. I don't know with other smartphones. Like I said, I'm not a techie person, so I can't help you there. But I know on iPhones, when you go to like in the, what is it? Not the notes. What the hell is it? It's the reminders section. If you go to your reminders on your iPhone, you can set location tags. So I set up positive affirmations around places that I frequent and I know could potentially bring up a negative thought pattern. So prime examples, Target. Okay, freaking love Target. Target's great, and I want to give them all my money, right? Like I just want to walk in there and give them all the money. And so that brings up, sometimes it can bring up a money block, right? So think of maybe the place that when you go in, you're like, oh my God, just take all my money, right? And sometimes what ends up happening is we start to go, oh God, I'm going to overspend, or I don't have enough money. It starts bringing up all the negative beliefs maybe we have around money, and you start to freak out and panic like, oh God, I don't have enough money for that. So I have like affirmations on my phone, like I love money, money loves me, money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Like as the money that I give comes right back to me tenfold. Like little things like that, right? And then like as I leave Target, it's like, you know, giving me more like self-love and stuff like that around money. Or I even said to the grocery store more like for like body wise, right? Like I love my body. I'm a conscious eater. I make good choices when I eat. Like I love healthy food, right? Because I know I'm going to go in there and start shopping for food, right? And if you're somebody who's like, oh my God, I know I'm going to walk in there and I literally start picking myself apart, then put location tags to that. So be creative and think of maybe the areas that you go that trigger these thought patterns out of you, places, or maybe even people. Like I've had some of my customers do that, like with people, right? Like they know if they're going to go to their parents' house, that's like trigger central, because their mom just can't not help but literally tell them all the things that they've done wrong in their life. So they literally are like, oh, I'm like a basket case, right? When I have to go to my mom's, set a location tag to your mom's house and say all the positive things you need to hear before you have to go in and deal with that, right? And then the last one that I love is the credit card story. When I first signed up as a coach, the business opportunity webinar that I watched was one by Mindy Wender, who is like a 15-star multi-million club. I want to say she's in the multi-million club now. Really great coach, and she's my 15-star upline. Love her to death. And her story resonated with me so much of just being like, you know, wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, struggling horribly financially. And it's really what I connected into. But I also knew that Mindy Wender like freaking is obsessed with Disney. She loves Disney. She's such a Disney freak. And so when me and my husband, we got married and we had gone down to change over all our banking information, I had the opportunity to get a new card, my debit card, right? And they were like, oh, do you want to get like you have all these different backgrounds on it, right? And so one of them was the Disney Kingdom, like the castle, right? And immediately I was like, yes, I want that, because I know that every time I pull out my card, I needed to be re-triggered to not be thinking negatively about money. It reminded me to think of Mindy. It reminded me to think of the opportunity that I was growing right now. It reminded me of that even if I didn't have the money right now, that I was on the path of making a shift and a change for myself, for my family. And it just got me feeling better about transactions whenever I would swipe my card, because I would think of Mindy and I'd think about possibility. And that's really what affirmations are really all about. It's just getting you consciously aware of things that you're saying and making the little shifts. And so you have to like booby trap yourself, basically. Like figure out where you need the little bit of extra support and help. The third thing is meditation and visualization. I love meditating. This has been a game changer for me, and taking time to really get into that like quiet space and visualize where I want to go, and who I want to grow into, my highest self. Now, I know like a lot of people are like, dude, I suck at meditating. Meditating, it's like 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. You can find guided meditations if you can't sit and be quiet. It's more about just getting in the practice of sitting and just being mindful. It doesn't, if your brain races, that's fine. Don't judge it. But that's why I say, like, if you can't really seem to calm things down, then get a guided meditation. They have free apps. I know like Deepak does one with like Oprah. Like you can never go wrong with Oprah, right? You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on podcasts. They've got guided meditations everywhere. But I feel like really getting into that visualization state and getting yourself to feel the shifts and the change and getting yourself connected to where you want to go and really feeling good about it. That's like really ultimately the whole goal of meditating and visualizing when it comes to shifting your mindset, because you need to start feeling better. The fourth thing is journaling, like I mentioned before, because this is where you really can start digging in piece by piece your limiting beliefs and fears. Because we are always in our head having the inner dialogue, right? It's always going back and forth. You can probably recognize when you're doing it, right? You're going back and forth. In your journaling, this is where you can basically almost start to have that dialogue out on paper and really start having the conversation and really start digging in and asking deeper questions, because then you can write it out and look at it and be like, okay, but is that ultimately true? Why do I feel this way? I wonder where that came from. Oh, you know, and you can literally start writing it out. It's your safe space to be really completely raw and open with yourself, because nobody has to read it. This can be something that you can do just for you. And what I find is even really helpful, if you're dumping out a lot of stuff, like a lot of negative garbage, then take the paper and do a burn and release with it. If you ever have heard of doing that, where you write it all out, all the negative garbage, and then you go and you just like burn it and just kind of like be like, I'm releasing all of this negativity. Like, this is not going to hold me back. This is not who I am. I have the choice to be who I want to be. I can be I can be better, you know, I can do whatever. Like, this is not who I am. And then learning how to embrace the struggle, because you are going to fail, and that's okay. Because honestly, like I said, it doesn't define you. These limiting beliefs, these excuses, all this garbage that's going on in your head doesn't define who you are. And your failures don't define who you are either. Like, you have to fail in order to grow. Everyone who has been successful in this business, anything in life, they failed at one point or another. But that's how you learn. It's your opportunity to grow. And you can turn then your mess into your message. Like, so much crap has happened to me over the course of the last 5.5 years just from coaching. And every time something happens, it's always going back to, okay, how can I take this, you know, shitstorm that's going on in my life? What am I learning here? And then how can I turn around and better help, you know, other women that I want to inspire? How can I better help my coaches? How can I better help my clients? How can I better help my family? Like, where can I grow? Always in these moments. So I'm always finding the silver linings and everything, because there's always a silver lining. There's always something there, even when it seems like there ain't nothing silver about it, right? And then this is where you can kind of dive into it and be like, well, where maybe am I not taking enough inspired action? Where am I maybe not having enough belief in myself? What is this maybe bringing up for me? And then going back again to the learning as you go, because this is what's going to help build confidence and momentum. The more that you embrace the struggle and face the struggle in a constructive manner, instead of just beating yourself down and looking at it for what it is and being like, yeah, this really sucks right now, but what can I learn and how can I grow through it? Then it builds up that confidence that you can take on challenges, that it doesn't have to beat you down. It doesn't have to knock you off your path. You can continue to keep moving forward and growing momentum every day. The sixth thing is dropping the comparison game. Coaches all the time, they're always in this, oh, this person's doing this, or this person's growing faster than me, or this person's at this rank, or this person has this many success goal points, or blah, 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 blah. Like, we could literally compare ourselves to everybody every single day, right? It's like the what if game. Well, what if I can't do this? And what if I can't do that? And blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, but what if we flipped it all around and said, but what if you were successful? What if you did hit this goal? What if you could do this? What if you could do what everyone else is doing? You have to start recognizing that all the other coaches around you, everyone on your team, everyone who's done anything before you, it's not there for you to judge and compare yourself to. It's there to inspire and show you what's possible within your own journey. They're showing you that if they can do it, you can do it too. Because everyone in this business, even freaking the top coach, Melanie Mitro, she proves to every single day what is possible in this business for other coaches. So finding coaches that they inspire you in that way, right? That you relate to their story, you relate to where they've been, and see that if they could do it, you can do it too. And drop finding ways that you're comparing, because then you're just staying stuck in a mindset that is just knocking you down every day. And the minute you get inspired by what other people are doing, that's where then you just pour into your own path and recognize that your path is your path for a reason. You have to walk your path for a reason. I realized that, okay, so the last couple of years have been really like hard on me when it came to my own physical health. I had a hysterectomy April 2016. June of 2017, I ended up having 18 inches of my colon removed. And then October of 2017, I ended up having a rectum surgery due to the damage that was done by my prolapsed colon that had fallen apart and was crushing my pelvic floor. It was a lot. It was a lot going on there. But I realized that that journey, that path that was only mine to walk, opened up so much for me in order to better help other people. I've been able to learn and grow so much. I could have sat there and really beat myself down. I could have started comparing how my journey, like how much it fucking sucks compared to everybody else. Like, why are they all doing this, that, and the other? Like, I can't do 80-day obsession right now because I'm still healing. I ended up gaining weight because I can't eat normal right now because my colon is being a dumbass and it's not letting me eat the foods I want to eat. Like, it needs to get its life together. Like, I could literally start comparing myself to everyone else around me and start saying that because of this, that's why maybe I could not be as successful, versus flipping it and being like, no, these are the things that could make me so much more successful because I have more compassion and I can be more sympathetic to somebody who's going through a struggle like that, or somebody who's battling a chronic pain condition or battling surgeries or a hysterectomy or this, that, and the other. Like, my path is my path for a reason. You have to figure out what the reason is, and then you can turn around and you can pour that back into other people. And then learning how to surrender. My whole last year was learning how to surrender. It was my word of the year, 2017. That's what I had picked. And I feel like then it was kind of like thrown in my face of like ways to try to surrender. Hence why I had like 2 major surgeries that year. It was really like pushing me to learn how to have more faith, how to trust in that this path was for me. And then I had to really learn how to believe in myself more and really to stop overthinking. Surrendering and trusting and knowing that you are supported and you are guided, whatever you believe in, you have an internal guiding system for you. You need to listen to it more. You need to tune into your intuition and know that you have it inside of you to do this. That the negative voices that are popping up, the negative mindset, that's all bullshit. I've said it like a ton this time. It literally is bullshit. So I hope you get that. Like, it rings true in your head. It's holding you back from doing the thing, stepping into your greatness. And the minute you start to surrender and believe in that and let go and trying to like over control every situation and just trust that the path will unfold, if you just follow and be in the joy and love yourself and get into a positive state of mind and work from that place, a pure space of joy and inspired action, everything unfolds if you just surrender and believe in it more. So getting started over the next couple of days, you really need to set aside time, sit down, really figure out what are, your limiting beliefs and breaking those down. Maybe setting the alarms, getting more aware of what are the thoughts, what are the things that are going on inside of me, what am I maybe saying to myself on a daily basis, what are the common excuses that I have of why this or this isn't working or I'm not growing fast enough, right? Really dive in and get your affirmations done, set your reminders, triggers, put up, get your environment set up for success, okay? A lot of people like, this is why vision boards can be so great, right? Because it's like a visual for you to see. But the key here is actually shifting into states of feeling the affirmation, feeling good about it. When you see the reminders, not just dismissing it. When you see your list of, affirmations, stop being like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that there. Don't let it become background noise. Like, actually absorb it over the next couple weeks and really make a conscious effort that you're going to be doing this work and developing the habit of it. Schedule your personal development and self-growth time daily, just like you would anything else. It's an appointment for yourself. It is super freaking important. You could even something I'm having people do right now is set up like a date night for yourself, right? Like get all like, what's the term that I'm looking for? I was going to say like gussied up. That's a term, right? Like gussied up, like, right? You get yourself all like looking like real sexy and good for you, right? Like show up for yourself like you would your spouse, right? Or like if you're going to go on a date, like do it for you, right? Get all dressed up, get looking really nice, go to your favorite restaurant, go to wherever you like to have your favorite drink, wherever, take your journal with you and go do this work and show up for you and pour into you and treat it like you would for someone else, right? Like you should be the one you love up more than anyone else every single day. But for some reason, we'll do it for dates with guys that we barely know that we met on some random site, right? Or we'll like do it for all these other people, but we won't do it for ourselves, right? So getting in that habit of doing it for you and scheduling your self-growth time daily. And then getting accountability buddies, the people that are going to make sure that you get the tough love when needed, okay? These are the people that you know that if you go and you say this to them, they're not the ones that sit there and be like, oh, it's okay. I know it's hard. You know, life's hard, right? You don't need to do that. You can go eat some crap food and sit in front of the TV and check out, right? Like, I'm not saying that we don't all need moments to check out, but what you need is somebody who's going to call you out when maybe you're not showing up enough for yourself, right? Women especially, unfortunately, we can be really bad about this, right? Like we get around girls and we're all crying. We're like, it's okay. Like life sucks sometimes. Our husbands are crappy or this, that, and the other, right? But it then becomes like almost like this bubble of like being like, it's okay to not try to work on ourselves. Like it's okay to kind of like just ignore the things that we need to do or not show up for ourselves. We kind of sometimes need to be comfortable with hearing tough love. You need to be receptive of it, but you also need to be ready to give it. And I feel like with teams, especially like when I train other teams on this, I tell them, I'm like, this starts with your guys' environment within your team culture. Is this breeding this within your own team? Is your team sitting around going into like negative Nilly mode, right? Like that people put a post in the team page and then it's literally like everything that fucking went wrong that day and shit. And then it's like everyone's commenting and I like blah, 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 right? And it like literally blows into this whole like, everything sucks, right? It's like, yes, we need to say what we need to say sometimes, but we also need to be like, okay, but where can we change this, right? How can we make a shift here? How can we maybe show up in a more loving way for ourselves here, right? Like just be better about doing that for one another and helping each other. And then some resources for you guys. So my favorite personal development books are Unlimited by Jillian Michaels, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. Honestly, anything Gabby Bernstein, I feel like you can never go wrong with her. Like I freaking love her. And then the Mindset by Carol Dweck. Don't ask me. The Mindset is really good because it really like breaks down like growth mindset versus fixed mindset and digs really deep into that. I know there's also like a TED Talks that you can find like on YouTube that talks about growth mindset and fixed mindset. And I find that that's really interesting. And then also learning about upper limits. And Marie Forleo, she has a YouTube channel. She talks about it. So you can literally just go on to Marie Forleo and search on her site for upper limits or reading the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Because this is literally like talking about how your brain literally has like an internal temperature. It's like a gauge that the minute you start to push or go for something that your brain, like you've never done before, right? That's like the next level. And your brain goes, whoa, like we've never done that before. Like we've never tried to lose 80 pounds before, or we've never tried to shoot for a 6-figure income before, or we've never tried to build an online business before, whatever it is, right? The minute it's something that the brain does not have like a neural pathway for, like a oh, we know how to get from point A to point B. It's like, it freaks out on itself, and it literally wants to kind of pull you back down into a comfort level of which it feels more comfortable, because it's like, oh, we know how to do this. We know how to do it. We've done it before. We have years and years and years and years of knowledge around this, or memories around this, that make us feel good and conditioned and safe. So it wants to pull you back down. Because reality is, you guys, the brain, the whole purpose of the brain is to keep you alive. That's its purpose, is to keep you alive. And so it can't decipher what is actual danger, like, you know, back in the, you know, the whatever ages of like where we were going to get like attacked by a bear, right? Like out in the wilderness and trying to just survive. Like, it can't decipher between that type of fear versus the fear of growing an online business and going out and talking to people, right? All it knows is that fear, it produces the exact same levels of hormones in your body. It produces the same level of emotional reaction in your body. That's all it knows. And it's like, warning, warning, something's bad. Something bad is happening here, and we need to protect us. That's all it knows. Right? So learning about upper limits and being better understanding of that. And so then you can recognize when that's happening, because it can pop up for people in so many different ways. Like for me, I know when I've hit an upper limit, I literally feel like I'm coming down with a cold. It's like my body wants to try to make me sick to kind of get me put in bed so that I'm not doing things. Like I literally, I'm like, I'll be like, oh God, I feel like I'm getting like a sore throat and I feel run down, and I'm like, oh, I feel like crap. And that's my body's way of trying to stop me when I'm pushing. Okay. And the last thing for you guys is to now take all of this and go and implement, and really implement everything you learn this year. To go and take inspired action. Don't hop on calls like this and take the notes and look at the notes and think, oh, these are all great. This is amazing. I could probably try to do that and never go implement. Everything is about implementation in this business. You take what you learned today and then you go and implement the hell out of it in your business tomorrow. Okay, now I can see, I had no idea. I saw the box going off, but I couldn't see what was going on. So questions or?
Mic drop. I hope you guys get why I asked her to come speak now. Like, that was freaking amazing. I think all of my PS coaches that were on this text me during it and say, this is amazing. Like, I love her realness and her energy. So does anyone have any questions for Blair about any of this? I know for me, one of the things that, talking about mindset, that I'm almost embarrassed to say this out loud because I don't know if I ever have, but in the beginning of my business as a new coach, I had a scarcity mindset. I hit Success Club and then I would hoard all my people and be like, oh, maybe there's a deal next month. It was like the 25th of the month. Let's just wait till the 1st. Maybe there's a better deal for you. And then I'd get 2 more points that month and I'd hit Success Club again. And for the first maybe year of my business, it was that way of just like, how am I going to keep finding more people each month? I know Success Club is important and I want to hit it, so I have to hoard them and just save them for the next month. And once I heard Chalene Johnson talk on a podcast about having this scarcity mindset and fear of not going to have anyone else to help next month, and changing that to having an abundant mindset, and that there are so many people out there that, I mean, we're trying to help the obesity epidemic, right? Like, there's so many people that live unhealthy lifestyles that need our help, or, they need the financial help. They need the fitness help. They need like something that we have to offer, and we can be that solution to them. So, once I started to release that negative mindset and I had that abundant mindset, I started hitting Success Club 10, 20, higher numbers than I ever had before, and was doing it month after month without having to be saving points for the next month. So, maybe there's someone else on this call that can kind of relate to that. And I just want to encourage you guys to let go of that negative mindset. And I guarantee you, your business will just grow and you will help more people each month than just those 3 people that get you to SC6.
Yeah. Well, it literally goes down to whatever you believe is true, right? If you tell yourself there's not going to be enough people, well, that's what shows up. But if you believe that there's always more than enough, then there's always more than enough. I think that you don't realize how much power is in your own thought patterns and in your own mindset. And if you believe that it's going to be hard, or you believe that there's less than, then it starts to become, you literally start creating that environment for yourself to feel that way. And you start acting as if that's how it is, right? And the minute you let go of that and shift it into, wait a second, no, there's more than enough. I can have abundance. Why not? Like, there's more than enough people to help. What ends up happening? The numbers turn around. You actually start hitting even higher numbers, because that's where your belief is at. You take more action then. Somebody who's going to be believing more in that there's more than enough people, you'll send more invites. You'll talk to more people. You'll sign up more people, because you're not ever feeling like there's ever going to be a cap somewhere.
Yeah, do that for sure. Any questions? Can we also celebrate Blair for another second? Because I forgot to mention something really important and freaking awesome that in the beginning. I remember every Super Saturday we do this really cool thing that's like who's kind of lost the most weight with Beachbody, and comes down to like her and this other girl, and you won, right? Didn't you win?
Yeah. I did.
Yeah. So can you just share with us kind of your actual physical transformation with Beachbody too, and how much weight you had lost?
It's funny because I didn't realize I had my number wrong until I was talking to Jenny like the night before, and I was like, holy crap, I've actually lost like 95 pounds total.
Holy
like I had just literally had always kind of beat myself up, because I always was like, well, I gained more weight back because of like all my health issues and stuff. So I always forget that at my healthiest, when I was at my fittest, I had lost 95 pounds total of my journey. And so I mean, I don't know. I mean, my fitness journey, it's just like everybody else, right? I mean, I don't know. Now I'm all like, I don't know what to share about it besides that. I mean, I get it. Like, it's hard, especially like moms. Like, I was extremely stressed. I was extremely tired. I was so depressed. And the last thing I wanted to do was to work out every single day. But I found that working out from home made it that much easier, because even if I could only do 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or sometimes it wasn't even sometimes a workout with Beachbody, right? I just went for a walk. I just did something and got myself moving. Things started to shift. And I think that mindset and the body work go so hand in hand. Like, you can't sit there and try to believe in yourself and love yourself if you are not moving your body and treating your body in a certain way. Like, you have to be moving the body and feeding it right. Like, it doesn't make sense when if you're feeding it crap and laying around and not moving it, and then trying to like up level your mindset. It goes hand in hand together.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. I just wanted to give you a shout out for that, because that's incredible. And yes, you said at your, fittest, it was that, and you gained some back, but give yourself grace. And, people get there. I've had health issues. I totally get that, so you're doing awesome things. Brooke, do you have anything you want to add?
I love listening to you. I love your energy, and I love how you said, this business is a lot about taking action, and I think we talk a lot about that, and, making it, not just listening and taking notes, but then going and implementing. And I think that's really, really important, because I think, we all get inspired when we hear something, and then we go put our notebooks away, and we wake up tomorrow and we don't do anything. And really, we got a lot of takeaways from today. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I want to say, like, that too, you guys, like, honestly, what I do is I come on and I'm sharing my best practices, right? And any training you get on, that's what they're sharing, their best practices. And with that being said, that's their best practices. In order for you to figure out what's going to grow your business and really speak to the people you want to help, you have to go out and start implementing things and find your own path, right? It's like, I feel like there's certain basics that we do every single day as a coach that that I know like Melanie Mitchell's doing every single day versus like what a brand new coach is doing every day. They're getting up, they're doing their workout, they're drinking their shake, they're doing their personal development, they're getting online and they're doing, the basic behaviors that all coaches do. But I find that in order for you to figure out what works best for you and your business is by applying things. And then you start to figure out your own best practices and how things work for you and how they connect in with your audience and the people that you want to help. And so many times coaches are just, they're getting on training after training after training, and they're learning. But the real work comes when you start to apply and have patience and grace with yourself if things don't go the way you think they're going to go. If you're like, oh, well, this coach told me to do this and then I did it, and then like, oh my God, it sucked. I mean, okay, I'll be real with you guys. This is prime example of this is, and you know what? I actually have a picture of it on my phone. I'll share it with you guys. This will make you feel all whole tons better, I bet. I can't remember how long I'd been a coach, maybe probably about like over a year, maybe like 2 years. I think I'd been a coach up in this point. And I remember I did a training for like ad training, right? I wanted to learn more about how to run ads because I had never run ads before. And I think it was like a training. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Miguel Carrasco had done a training about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go apply everything that he taught me. I'm going to kick ass at ads, right? I've got all the notes. I'm going to go apply action. And I go do this. I do everything that this guy tells me to do. And like 24 hours of running this ad, like nothing is going on. And I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? Like, I must suck at this. Well, what I found is that I didn't realize, you guys see that? The picture, I didn't reframe the picture to the ad. So it was just my boobs going through people's newsfeed. That was my ad. And I had targeted it to like breastfeeding moms, okay? Because I was breastfeeding at the time. And I'm literally freaking out like, oh my God, for like 24 hours, I had an ad going through all these women's newsfeeds of my boobs. And I was like, and at that moment, I could have stopped. I could have quit. I could have like been like, oh my God, I'm going to suck. I failed. And never tried to run an ad ever again, right? But it was just like in that moment, I learned a lesson. I was like, oh, okay, I have to pay attention to like altering my pictures and this, that, and the other. And like, that's all it is that you take people's best practices, you implement it into your business, you see how it works for you, and then you make the tweaks that are necessary. That's all it is. Like, I promise you, like I make lots of mistakes all the time. That one clearly didn't stop me from growing my business, even though I was like pretty devastated when that happened. That ad could work for guys, maybe. They're like, who's this chick?
That's funny. Well, I guess to wrap it up, if no one else has any other questions, Brooke and I have homework for you guys. We want you guys to take action and brain dump those negative limiting beliefs that you have. So take 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes, put it all on a piece of paper, and then rewrite those into the I am statements that Blair told us about. And then Brooke and I want to talk to you about them, and we want to work through it and make sure that, tell us where you're putting them on sticky notes, where you're putting them around your house, what kind of alerts that you have on your phone and things like that, so that you can start to make that mindset transition. So, we will share ours with you too, and we're here to talk about it. So we want you guys to all send those to us. And with that being said, we'll just wrap it up. So thank you, Blair, so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, you guys.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.